Joining us now to discuss is George Gianarikas, analyst at Canaccord Genuity. George, it's great to see you.
Nice to see you too, Melissa.
There's two issues here. That is reducing the reliance on rare earths from China and elsewhere. And then there's the issue of the momentum in the stocks. And they seem to be sort of different issues, because I'm not sure if taking a stake in a mining company that has a mine that just opened is going to really do the trick. But we are seeing the excitement in the shares.
Well, look, what the government did a few months ago, like you referenced, was, in our opinion, brilliant. Essentially, the Chinese government had been artificially depressing the price of rare earth materials to disincentivize mines across the world from producing them themselves. And what the U.S. government had to do in order to wean the United States off of Chinese supply is set essentially an artificial price at 110 for MP, take a stake in the company, and participate in the upside as the company grows its refining and its magnet production. So it's what had to be done, particularly after the recent China-U.S. negotiations. And we should expect additional deals like this, not only in rare earths, but potentially in other materials across the country.
So seeing what's happened with MP shares since then, are you recommending just a basket of these stocks? There aren't too many, actually, that are publicly traded.
We cover two. We cover MP Materials. We also cover USA Rare Earths. USA Rare Earths is in the business of building a magnet production facility in the United States. They also have some land in Texas where they hope to extract heavy rare earth materials, which are very, very important. So those are the two that we cover, and we recommend investors buy both.
George, as you pose it here, the government is kind of de-risking investment in this area, saying these are strategic resources and trying to backstop sort of longer-term production. All makes sense. What is the effect, if anything, on things like discouraging renewable development and things like that? Other things that might be a piece of the demand equation for this group?
It's a fair question. So if you think about what rare earth magnets go into, like you referenced, they go into EV motors, they go into wind turbines, but they also are the feedstock for physical AI. The robots that we see, either from Boston Dynamics or for Tesla, they're all going to use actuators, which use rare earth magnets. These magnets essentially enable electrified motion. So it's not only important for the renewable sectors, but it's also important for robots, also important for defense. That's why it was so important for the Department of War to get the feedstock from MP Materials in their agreement that they signed a couple months ago.
So in terms of where the rare earths are coming from right now for specifically the tech trade, George, I'm just wondering how that changes, if at all, once USAR, for instance, gets online fully and MP Materials. I mean, how quickly can we shift to much more United States rare earths?
That's a really good question. So our estimate is that U.S. consumes about 50,000 tons of rare earth magnets per year. MP plans to get to 10,000, USA Rare Earths to 4,800. So we still have a huge gap between what we consume and what's needed to be produced. There are also some private companies trying to build magnet production, but it should be a vibrant next decade or so for those who are trying to produce magnets in the United States.
And George, I mean, as you cover this group, I mean, I know you have a much broader selection of companies, more developed ones that you do cover. But the kind of waves of speculative excitement and then retreat that come in and out of it, I mean, is this something that you just have to deal with, or is it something that for certain companies, it's sort of make or break depending on their valuation and how much capital they're able to access?
Look, essentially for MP, there's a long runway for them to grow here. And what we expect for them specifically is potentially additional agreements from the likes of, a Lockheed Martin or a Tesla. We're just speculating as to additional agreements they could have. They already have one with Apple to supply magnets for iPhones. And USA Rare Earths and others could see the same. There is a mad dash from American, European, Western companies to get magnets that aren't Chinese made. Because if we have tensions again with China and they restrict exports, it's going to make it very, very difficult for them to produce their products. And we saw that in the summer. There were companies that we've heard of that had an issue the next month in actually making vehicles, for example. So it's essential that they secure non-Chinese magnets to enable their products. So this is critical for the United States, critical for the West. And we expect additional headlines from companies that are looking to secure magnets from MP and others.